When you discovered that Daniel was dyspraxic,
Yeah.
what were the things that were going through your mind?
Well, obviously, one was what we were going to do about his behaviour. It was good to find out that he wasn't a bad child. He had something that he wasn't able to control, but it was how we were going to work on that. It's also what was going to, where we were going to get help for his schooling. What was the school going to do about it, and what support can they give him? And it was also important to get him actually diagnosed with a consultant, because there are monetary benefits that you can get, which obviously can be very handy to do other things for him. So lots of things, but what exactly did it involve and what help could we get?
Okay. Now, all of that information, sources of help, help for parents to understand things, you've incorporated that in this booklet that you've produced.
I have, yes.
Okay. That booklet, you'll make that freely available to all parents that want it.
Absolutely, because it's so difficult to get all that information together. It's taken me about 5 years or more. In fact, Daniel's 12 now, so probably about 7 years to get to the bottom of a lot of things, and I'm still finding out new information every day, because it's just, there's not one source of it. It's so difficult to get the information and the help you need.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, I've got a targeted question now. I remember it was about 4 or 5 years ago that Daniel was standing at the top of the stairs and throwing anything down the stairs that he could get his hands on. You made some changes at that point. Can you just remember what those were? Because those had a profound effect.
They did, yeah. Well, first thing was obviously we altered his diet, his normal diet, to take out things like a lot of colourings and food additives, because associated with this dyspraxia is actually ADHD as well. But also we came across something called glyconutrition, which we were a bit sceptical about at the time. We didn't really believe it, but we gave it a try. And having given these sort of sweet supplements for probably about 3 or 4 weeks, we didn't really notice any difference ourselves, because we lived day to day with Daniel. It was only when we ran out and didn't bother to buy any more because we thought, nah, it didn't work, that we ran out, and suddenly about 24 hours later Daniel seemed even more hyper than he'd ever been. So we sat down and sort of discussed it, and realised that he wasn't any more hyper than he used to be. He'd calmed down a lot, and we'd gotten used to his new level of concentration and activity.
How old was Daniel at that time?
It was probably about 6 or 7.
Right, so early days in school.
Yeah.
How's he done since that time?
He's done a lot better. One thing he didn't used to be able to do was concentrate. That was his biggest problem. He'd be more interested in what everybody else was doing. Teachers loved him to bits, but it's sit down and do your own work, Daniel, rather than walk around everybody else's desk. Whereas once he started on the products, they noticed a big difference. He will actually concentrate on his work. When he gets assessed, he always gets 1 for effort in everything he does, and he wouldn't be able to do that if he wasn't concentrating on the work. So he will never achieve top marks, but the effort is what was important to us, and that's gone on. And even though he's moved to secondary school and life's a bit harder for him, he's still getting the 1s for effort. He's still concentrating on his work.
I've heard it said that children with dyspraxia and dyslexia, it's almost like their mind is wired in a different way. What strategies have you found that work to help Daniel get the most out of a situation?
Don't know how to answer that one at the moment.
Okay. You've made some changes to Daniel's sort of home environment and his school environment, his dietary environment. What would you say are Daniel's sort of future prospects like in terms of school, in terms of education? How is he doing?
He's doing as well as he can do, but he just doesn't get enough individual support. Things have improved. When he used to get new work to do, it'd always be, I can't do it. The school have done a brilliant job in getting him out of that habit, and he does put the effort in now, but he just needs somebody to get him started on the work. Pretty much the same at home. If he's got homework to do, he'll do everything to avoid it. So it's a case of managing Daniel, making sure you know what work he's got, making sure that he does the work sitting over him as he does it and give him as much help as you can without actually doing the work for him. Realistically, our hope is that Daniel leaves school being able to be very good at reading and writing and basic maths. And he's a very nice boy, and will probably find something else that he's really good at. But it'll probably be more artistic than sort of normal education type stuff. And that's what we're hoping for.
Okay. Just one last question. How important is it to have a structured environment, good boundaries in terms of home life?
Very important. Even though, because of the problem, even though he knows things that are right and wrong, his impulses will tend to make him go ahead and do it anyway. And it's really important that you make sure he knows when he's done something wrong and he's appropriately punished. These days, thankfully we got a laptop through one of the charities that are in the booklet, and one of the great punishments now is if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, he's not allowed to use the laptop for a while. So he's learning that although he sometimes can't control his impulses, he has to try really hard, because there are consequences, and that's the way we approach it. It's just really important to give them the boundaries and stick to them. If you've got one parent that isn't doing that, that can make life really, really difficult, because he'll just use that parent and give that parent a really hard time. Okay,
so the lesson there, I think, is for parents to work together to provide a strong, safe, secure place with good boundaries, good discipline, that actually gives him a place where he can feel that he knows where he is, he knows where when he steps out of line, and what the consequences are.
Communication is really important. He needs to feel that he's listened to as well. He gets very, very frustrated if you don't give him a chance to have his say and defend himself and listen to that, because life's very, very tough for a dyspraxic child. A day at school probably feels like 2 days in length, because they've got to work so hard at everything, and everything's so much harder. They don't achieve what everyone else achieves, so you've got to make the most of what they do achieve, and you just got to let them have their say and be fair.
Fantastic. Andy, thank you so much for giving your time this morning to talk about dyspraxia, and at the end of this short video there will be your contact details so that people can get in contact with you and get hold of this book.
Yeah, brilliant.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.